The Appalachian Mountains are breathtaking. Rolling hills blanketed in ancient forests, whispering winds, and winding trails that hold stories older than the country itself. But for those who've spent time in their deeper stretches, especially the parts untouched by time and tourism, the Appalachians are more than just a picturesque retreat. They're a place where the line between this world and the next feels thinner, where the sounds don't always match the wildlife, where the eyes you feel watching you don't belong to any person. I didn't believe the stories at first. That changed the year I took a trip with my cousin Jared to hike through a lesser-known section of the southern Appalachians in eastern Tennessee. Jared was always an adventurer. He had served a few years in the Marines and came back home different, more restless. He'd heard about this old trail that wasn't on many maps, one that supposedly led to some abandoned fire lookout stations from the 1940s. "It's off-grid," he said, smiling. "Perfect for disconnecting." I was skeptical, but after a stressful year, I figured some mountain air might do me good. We loaded up with supplies, packed light, and left our phones behind on purpose. Jared said if we needed GPS, we weren't doing it right. The first day of hiking was fine, beautiful even. Sunlight filtered through the canopy in golden shafts, and the air was cool despite the summer heat down below. We set up camp near a small creek, cooked some dehydrated meals, and joked around like kids again. That night, though, something felt off. I woke up around 2 a.m. to the sound of footsteps outside the tent. I froze, thinking it was an animal. But the steps were steady, heavy, deliberate. They circled the tent once, then again. Jared was awake too, I could tell from his breathing. But neither of us moved. Then the steps just stopped. We didn't talk about it the next morning. Both of us pretended we'd slept fine. We packed up quickly and pushed farther into the forest. By the afternoon, we came across something strange. A tree with symbols carved deep into its bark. Circles, triangles, and what looked like eyes with slashes through them. Jared examined it and shrugged it off as backwoods graffiti. I wasn't so sure. As we climbed higher into the mountains, the woods became quieter. The birdsong had faded, and even the wind seemed muted. Around dusk, we found the remains of what might have been the fire lookout station, just a foundation and some rotting wood beams. It was a good place to rest, so we set up camp again. That second night it all escalated. Around midnight, I was jolted awake by a whisper. Not in my ear, around us. It was like dozens of voices speaking just below the range of understanding. Jared sat up and said he heard it too. We stepped out of the tent, flashlights cutting through the dark. The forest was deathly still. Then we both heard it, a long, low whistle maybe 50 feet away. Not a bird. Not any animal. It was human. I called out, asking if anyone was there. No answer. The whistling came again, this time from the other side of the clearing. Jared grabbed the hunting knife from his pack. "Back in the tent," he whispered. We didn't sleep. We just sat there in the dark listening. The whispers never got louder, but they didn't go away either. At first light, we agreed it was time to go. We packed quickly and started back down the trail. But something was wrong. No matter how far we walked, we weren't making progress. Landmarks looked unfamiliar, and even the moss on the trees seemed different. Around noon, we stumbled upon the same carved tree from the day before. Jared cursed under his breath. "We've been going in circles," he said. We tried taking a different direction, even used the compass Jared brought, but the needle spun like it was confused. Hours passed. The forest began to feel claustrophobic. That's when we heard a laugh. Faint, dry, and bitter. Like it was mocking us. It echoed from somewhere up in the trees. "We'll never